Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TEFL course. This is my first meeting with you. And for the first half of this session today, you're going to put on the students' hats, not the teachers' hats. I know that all of you are teachers, but for the first half, you're going to put on the students' hats. And I'm going to put on the teacher's hat, not the tutor's or not the trainer's hat. So teacher, students. Are we trainer teachers or teacher students?
Teacher
Teacher
students.
students.
Good job. Good job. What comes to your mind when you see this picture? You can add
Pen.
answers in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So I agree with chemicals and unhealthy food. Not pain. Not today, Nosha. Okay. So let's find out.
Kindly, can you change my name? I couldn't change it because I'm not the host today.
So you are
So,
Shuruk Al. Oh, I
yes, it's me.
I'm sorry, I just called the name I had on the screen.
Yes, I know. Thank you so much.
So some of you said it's pain. Some of you said healthy and unhealthy food. Good job, hint. Something or some things hurt or bad things happen. Plants, chemicals, unhealthy food. Okay, so take a look at this. I have three questions for you. If you bought a watermelon like this one, no seeds at all, a seedless watermelon, you gonna eat it or not? Why? Why not? And what's your stand on genetically altered food? So when we play with the genes in the food, do you agree with that? Do you find it useful? Do you find it harmful? In the breakout rooms, pause the recording for 3 minutes. Can you take a picture of the screen? Can you use your phones and take a picture? Doesn't sound real. Vitamin, external factors obliged. Lovely. You're creative with answers. Okay, now in the breakout rooms, try to discuss the answers to these questions, not in depth, but just, say your opinions, honestly. Welcome back. I heard some of your answers. Some of you were for the experiment and the adventure, and some of you were against. So if you were for genetically altered food and you would try this watermelon, this seedless watermelon, type one in the chat box. If not, type two. If you hated it and if you're not gonna try it, type two. Let's find out how many ones, how many twos. Oh, some people are really adventurous. Oh, okay. Okay. So today we will learn something about that. It's no harm. Are you sure? Is it just altered to help us eat it more quickly? I think so. Not sure. Let's find out. Let's find out. Okay. So watch the following video for a
So
food
can
expert.
we record the session, please? You
I am.
asked
It's being recorded. Yes, I resumed it. So we're going to watch a video for a food expert. It's a very short video. You need to listen carefully and not very carefully, to be honest, and find out if genetic food or genetic altering in food is something new. Is it a new concept or an old one? Is it always bad and harmful for our health? Do you need to understand every single word to understand or to find out in the video? What do you
No,
think?
I don't think no.
No, we don't have to.
Find a difficult word. Are you going to think about it or just let go?
Let it go.
Guess it.
Let go. If it's difficult, like a difficult word, let go.
But the thing is, we humans have been playing with our food for...
So now, your job is to find out, is it always bad? Is it something new? Or is it old?
But the thing is, we humans have been playing with our food for thousands of years, and with some pretty amazing results. From seedless watermelons, to bean plants that can survive frigid winters, to regular old broccoli. So much of what we find in the produce section, we've altered in one way or another. For as long as humans have grown food, we've tinkered with it, trying to make our crops more nutritious, delicious, and resistant to harmful things like disease and drought. And more recently, we figured out how to speed up the process by directly editing plant genes, those tiny units of DNA.
Would you like to listen again?
If you please, Master.
Yes, please, yeah.
But the thing is, we humans have been playing with our food for thousands of years, and with some pretty amazing results. From seedless watermelons, to bean plants that can survive frigid winters, to regular old broccoli. So much of what we find in the produce section, we've altered in one way or another. For as long as humans have grown food, we've tinkered with it, trying to make our crops more nutritious, delicious, and resistant to harmful things like disease and drought. And more recently, we figured out how to speed up the process by directly editing plant genes, those tiny units of DNA.
Okay, now in the breakout rooms, try to find out whether it's old or new, like the concept of food altering or genetically engineered food. Is it new or old? And the second thing, is it good for us or bad? Okay, discuss your answers in the breakout rooms. So if you're still here in the main room, you can discuss your answers here. Like Muhammad Faiz, Hiba Mursi, Hind Ali, Kareem El Sharawi, and Manar Ali. I think you've just joined Manar, so you can wait with us. Don't worry. So check your answers together here in the main room.
So it isn't bad. It's delicious and resistant to harmful things.
Yeah, so it's not very bad for us. And for if it's new or not, it said that it's for thousands of years, so it's not new.
So it's not new, yes.
Yeah,
يعني it's old, it's not new. It's old, not new.
I think so, yes.
And I
From
think
the
that the speaker supports this way or these techniques in producing and altering plants.
And the second question?
Mm,
To not face the problem of leakage of the food.
I agree. Yes. So, like, I think they altered the fruits and vegetables to withstand like the summer and the winter, and maybe even plant summer fruits in the winter and winter fruits in the summer and things like that. And they said that like it has become more delicious. But if it's healthy or not, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, but
Like this alteration, is it healthy for us or not? I'm
but-
not sure.
Yeah, and delicious, yes, pretty amazing. So
I
delicious,
enjoyed
but not always
listening.
good.
I enjoyed listening
What?
to your answers in the breakout rooms. So the discussion was rich. And I agree with most of you. Yeah, your answers were correct. It's not new, right? And it is not always bad or harmful for people, right?
Yes.
That's what you said in the breakout rooms. I enjoyed that. Do you remember what the food expert exactly said about the time that concept was, that concept started?
Thousands of
Some
years.
tens of thousands years ago.
1,000 years.
Yes, yes. Do you remember exactly what she said?
I think tens of thousands years ago, maybe.
Yeah? Can you give me the whole sentence, Rowan?
She said like the idea of food alteration is not new. It's like it existed tens of thousands years ago.
Okay. Okay. Can somebody provide me with the exact wording of what she said?
I guess they use it in the word try.
Okay.
In
That's
Chase?
not
I think we need to listen to the video more time and time, more times.
She said we've been Sherry, no. We've been playing with food
Oh, yes.
for
Yes,
thousands of years,
Yes, yeah.
right? That's what she said.
Yeah.
We've been playing with
It's
food
our food.
for thousands of years, not just 1,000. Okay.
Yes.
As for question 1, can you provide me with the answer in the chat box? Question 1 only.
No.
Okay, so that started in the past, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what about number 2? Do you remember the number of years? She didn't say 10,000. She said thousands of years. Okay.
Yes, me.
Okay. Number 3, what do you think?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I agree. What about number 4? Okay,
Yes.
we have been playing with food for thousands of years. Let's move on and look at this. That started like 2000 PC, for example. So we've been working on this for 4,000 years. 2000 PC, BC, like before Christ. So started in the past. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Continues in the present.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future.
Okay, so this is what we call present perfect continuous.
Continuous, yeah.
So did it start in the past, like 2000 BC, for example?
Yes.
And nowadays, do you think there are some researchers in some labs working on altering food and modifying and helping us with better products?
Of course,
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
Yes.
And after 100 years, will they stop or they will keep going?
No,
Keep
they will.
going.
Keep going, yeah.
Maybe keep going. I
Most
don't know.
probably, yes.
Most
Yes.
probably, yeah. Likely happen.
Okay. So listen carefully. We've been playing with food for thousands of years. Okay. We've been playing with food for thousands of years. Repeat after me. Years.
Yeah.
Years.
Of years.
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 Thousands of years.
Thousands of
Thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
For thousands of years.
For thousands of
For thousands of years.
Food for thousands of years.
Food
Food
for
for thousands of years.
With food for thousands of years.
With
food
food
for thousands of
Food for thousands of years.
Playing with food for thousands of years.
Playing
Playing
with
with
food
food
for
for
thousands of
Thousands of years.
Then playing with food for thousands of years.
With playing for thousands.
Again. Stop. Been playing with food for thousands of years.
Been playing with food for thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
Have been playing with food for thousands of years.
Have been playing with
Playing
food
with
for
thousands of years.
We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
We've been
We've
playing with food for thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
Only people in white. If you're wearing something white, you repeat after me. If not,
Okay.
let's say white and beige.
Anything
Okay.
what?
White and beige.
My heart is white.
We cannot see that, Mr. Zamzami, but we can see the look. Yes, it looks like you have a white heart. Anyway,
Thank you.
even if you have a white dot in your t-shirt, okay? We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
We've
been
been
playing
playing
with food for thousands of years.
في ناس بتخبط أي حاجة. We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
Only ladies and girls in the room. Repeat. No gentlemen.
Okay.
We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
We've been playing with thousands of years.
Only gentlemen. We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Playing with food for thousands of years.
انتوا اللي كنتوا عاملين دوشة ما بتقولوش معاهم صح؟ ينفع كده. Okay, well, only gentlemen. Once I finish, you start. We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
Only Mr. Zamzami. We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
Yeah.
We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
Excellent. So if you look here,
Food for thousands of years.
did you read this clearly? No, let me change the color. The color doesn't want to change. Lovely.
I think I will dream with this sentence.
Hey.
Habibi, give me the other color, please. Okay, let's do it with the same color because it feels like. Did you hear the word have clearly?
Yes.
So listen again. No, don't play here. Don't play here.
It's contracted.
عندي مش راضي يشغل الالوان يا ياسمين، يعني انت عارفه الجهاز اصلا ما كانش راضي يفتح.
انا قلت
اوكي
اجرب لقيتها شغاله.
شغاله زي الفل، وشغاله عندي برضو قبل السيشن. في سيشن، في حاجه مهمه، فلازم ايه صغرونا.
اللي معايا برضو الميتنج ما كانش راضي يفتح.
لا انا مثلا يوم الاسيسور في السلطه، والله الاسيسور جاي يشوف احنا بنشتغل بقى اونلاين والشغل كويس ولا لا، الكمبيوتر مش راضي يفتح مرتين، ودي الثالثه. anyway
مش عارفه اكمل.
so okay, let me give it one last try, one final try.
It's wrote in green color.
Yes, I got it. So have, did you hear the word have clearly? We've
No.
been
Yes.
playing.
No.
We heard
No.
the contraction.
Yes, the contraction.
Okay, so this is something we call the weak form. Have, have. Okay. Did you hear been or been when in the quick talk?
Ben.
Natural.
Ben.
Okay. Or this is also correct. Been.
Ben.
Been or been. Playing. Also been is fine. Okay. Been like long vowel is correct. But in quick speech, when we speak fast, do you hear it been or been? Natural English.
Ben.
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 More natural, right? Ben.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ben.
Yes.
Ben. Lovely. Lovely.
Ben.
So
Ben.
when we say playing, the ing, did you hear the g clearly?
No.
No, no, it's not clear.
Blame.
So this is the sound.
Yes.
We've been playing with food for, playing.
Yeah.
Playing.
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 Okay.
Playing was food.
One final time. We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
We've been playing with food for
Playing
thousands of years.
thousands of
years.
All together, like the same pace. We've been playing with food for
We've been-
thousands of years.
We've been playing with food for thousands of years.
Okay, lovely, lovely. Okay, so sorry. If you look here,
Yes.
let me just. Okay. What do we call this word? What's the grammar name for this word?
Subject pronoun.
Subject pronoun.
So the grammar name is subject. This is a subject, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Here,
Predicate.
have or
It's
has.
helping verb.
Helping
Helping
verb.
verb.
Helping verb.
It is not any helping verb. It's have
Verb
or
to
has.
have.
Okay?
What?
Have or has. It's an auxiliary,
Only.
but in this present perfect, allow me to, if you have noise around you, please mute yourself. Shayma, Tariq? Yes, thank you. So have or has for the present perfect continuous. Okay, and
Past participle.
Verb to be.
Past
This-
participle.
do we
of being.
change it? Do we change that, or is it fixed in this structure?
Always. So we can match it.
Here.
Yeah.
It's fixed.
Okay, plus
Gerund. Gerund.
or
Verb plus ing.
Verb plus ing.
so this is how we make the present perfect continuous. Subject plus have or has. Been
Been.
is always there. Verb plus ing. Can we write these two in a different way?
Yes.
We
Yes.
have,
Yeah.
Yes.
what can we say?
We have
With
Web.
like apostrophe.
With,
Web.
with,
With.
we've been, with, like we have been playing with food for thousands of years. We have been playing with,
With.
we've,
with.
we've been playing. We've
Yeah.
been playing.
We've been playing. We've been playing.
Okay. So what about the negative?
We haven't
We
played.
haven't
Haven't.
been playing.
Or have not.
We haven't
After
played.
have or has, we add
No.
not plus
Or
been,
never.
or we have never been so and so. Okay, lovely. Okay, amazing. How can I clear all drawings for God's sake?
There is the photo of like a bin or something. Just click on it, yeah.
Eraser.
Yeah. Okay. Good job. So now, please take off the students' hats and put on the teacher's hat. Let's analyze what happened. Which hat are you wearing now?
The
Teacher's
teachers.
Teacher's hat.
Okay, good, good, good. So I don't want to mute you, but I think I will have to. So let's have some democracy. And if you feel like you're surrounded with noise, you can mute yourself. Please do. If not, leave it on. So this is our first task for today as teachers, not as students. So read it quickly. And take a picture. It's okay if you don't know the answers to these questions. In the breakout rooms, just share some ideas. Okay? So do you have to come up with all the answers and correct answers, or is it okay just to find out together?
It's okay.
To find it together.
Did you take pictures?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Can you
job.
send it in WhatsApp group?
I can, sure. Why not? Hamid always does that.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to share some ideas about these answers. Let me pause the. Welcome back. Some lovely answers in the chat in the breakout rooms. Good job. So let's confirm. Let's confirm these answers. Okay. For question number 1, what do you think?
3 stages.
Do you agree with Hind? If you agree with Hind, type 1 in the chat box. I'm not asking you how many stages in general. I'm asking you about what you observed, Rawan. what you saw today?
I guess there were 5.
Yes, me too.
So let's stick to 3 for now. Okay?
Mhm.
Let's stick for 3 with 3. What about number 2? How did I start?
With brainstorming.
With the
Warm
lead
up.
With the lead and warm up.
and
Okay.
Lead in through a picture and then open a discussion.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good job. What about number 3? Can you put the answer in the chat box? What came first, then second, then third?
Lead time, exposure, language
In-
clarification.
I'm not gonna confirm in the chat box. If you agree with Fatma, Fatma says lead in, language clarification, then exposure. If you agree with Fatma, type 1. If you disagree, put the correct answer if you disagree. Okay, if you agree with Rawan and Hind, type 1 in the chat box. You don't have to write everything. Just okay. It seems like most of you agree with this order. I started with a lead-in stage, lead-in. The second stage was the text. I exposed them to a spoken text in listening, because the word text in the TEFL world or the CELTA world, we call spoken text and written texts. So listening and reading, we call them texts, both of them. And the third stage was language clarification. There were 2 missing stages in this framework after I clarify. The students need to do something very important. What do you think it was?
Practice. Warm up. They
No,
need to
Guiding,
after clarification.
Control
Practice.
practice.
guiding exercise.
So practice exercises.
yes, that
Control practice, then freer practice.
Mm.
And we give feedback to everything the students do in the classroom. I started with a lead-in. You can write that down. Lead-in. Exposure. That was stage number 2. Stage number 3 is called language clarification, and I'm not very happy with calling it. I'm not very happy with calling the third stage language presentation. Some tutors call it language presentation. I prefer clarification. Why? Because it's done interactively. I'm not just presenting the language. It was interactive. The fourth stage, which I haven't done for today, I just showed you 3 stages for a reason. The fourth stage in this lesson that should have happened is controlled practice, and the final one is freer practice. Controlled and freer practice. 2 more stages. For each one, we provide feedback as well. And I didn't do the controlled practice and the freer practice because I wanted to give you a good chunk of text-based presentation, focusing on the 3 main or the first 3 stages. We have a session on controlled and freer practice. So I didn't want to overwhelm you or overload you with knowledge. I just wanted to start slowly. Again?
Yes, again, please.
yes, especially the fourth stage and fifth stage. It's not clear for me.
So stage 1, lead in. Stage 2, exposure, like the text. Stage 3, language clarification, and I prefer clarification to presentation because presentation kind of entails lecturing. I'm not lecturing, it's interactive. asking and answering, and you participated. Stage number 4, controlled practice. Someone, I think Kareem, Sherry, called it guided practice. So the CELTA term, or the term we use on CELTA courses and on our TEFL courses, is controlled practice, but guided practice is acceptable. I see your point. And the 5th stage is freer practice. We have a complete session on controlled and freer practice and the difference between them. That's why I didn't want to overwhelm you with them today. Okay. And the 5th question. Yes, Radwa, we will have a session on that, a complete session, don't worry. We will have a complete session on the difference between controlled and freer practice. Session coming. Okay, so number 5. Is there a specific name for the sentence I used today? We've been playing with food for thousands of years. What's the name of this sentence?
Marker
Like,
sentence.
can you write that in
Present
the chat
perfect
box?
Marker
continuous.
sentence.
I
You
think
mean the
intonation.
name of the rule?
No, not the name of the rule,
Intonation.
not the target language, not the structure. No.
Intonation.
The name of this sentence in methodology. If you agree with Hind, type 1. Hind said marker sentence. Excellent job, Hind. We call it marker sentence. So the marker sentence is the sentence that we take from the text, which includes the structure we're teaching. What do we call it again? Marker. Remember it with this, like marker. See? Marker sentence. That's the sentence we use to clarify meaning, pronunciation, and form. Marker sentence. We've been playing with food for thousands of years. This was our marker sentence for today. Okay. So what's the target language? What was the target language for today? Do you remember?
Present perfect continuous.
Continuous.
Okay, so marker sentence, we've been playing with food for thousands of years. That's the sentence that contains the target language. Target language, the present perfect continuous for today. So you can write this term, marker sentence, target language. Another term I'd like you to add to your notebook is context. The context today was food alternation or genetically modified food. So when I say target language, what comes to your mind? The structure or the lexical set as we're gonna learn. Target language, the structure, the name of the structure. Present perfect continuous. When I say the word context, actually it's a fancy word. The word context is a fancy word, like a sophisticated word that means topic or theme. So the topic today was about food and food alternation or food modification genetically. That's the topic or the context or the theme. Because teachers usually mix the terminology here. They think that the context is present perfect continuous. No. The context today was food alternation or genetically altered food or modified food. The target language, present perfect continuous.
Yeah, so it
The mar-
deals more with the structure and grammar,
Yes, the marker
right?
sentence. Yes, the marker sentence is the sentence that carried the target language. And this sentence was extracted from the text. Okay. Now, read the question and think about the lead-in you observed today. My lead-in. So think about the features that happened or the features that I achieved in my lead-in stage today. And you provide me with the answer in the chat box. Okay, thank you very much. Most of you got the answer I wanted. But let me ask you a question here. Did you understand that the topic was about food, genetically modified food? Did you get that from the picture and the questions in the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job. That means that my topic was clear or my context was clear.
Right.
Okay. So did you work together or did I ask each student about their opinion? Or did you work in groups and shared ideas?
In groups.
Yes, in groups.
Okay. If I did it like teacher-student, is it going to be teacher-centered or student-centered?
Student-centered.
So if I did it myself with you, if I asked Shaimat about it, please mute yourself.
Teacher-centered.
Please mute yourself if you're surrounded with noise. And I appreciate it even more if you attend the session. I understand that we're all committed. We're all, we all have families and kids and stuff. But I'll appreciate it more if you minimize distractions. Because having CELTA-like sessions doesn't happen on daily basis. So when we minimize distractions, we get the maximum benefit. So don't sit in noise and throw the noise at us. That will distract you and distract us. To get the best, you need to minimize distractions. And I appreciate it if you're not able to because you're a mom and your kids are around and your husband is not very helpful like me. I'm not helpful at home. I'm not very helpful, to be honest, because I work all the time. I understand that, but do your best. Thank you. So when I set the task, did I do it with you or did I send you to breakout rooms to do it together?
Breakout rooms.
That means it was
Student-centered.
student-centered. Good job. Did you have a chance to speak about your opinion or to express yourself, how you feel about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this element is called personalization. And it's possible to do it with intermediate, pre-intermediate, upper intermediate students. Maybe the lower levels, you're not going to be able to do that. you might achieve 2 or 3 elements of what we have here, of the 5 elements we have. Okay, did I interrupt you and correct your mistakes or stop you to correct during the discussion, the first discussion, or did I let go and you enjoyed talking?
You let us go.
Sorry.
That's good.
So I focused on fluency, not accuracy, because I haven't explained anything yet. So enjoy. So don't raise the student's affective filter and start correction from the beginning. Remember this, the lead-in stage is a humanistic stage. You're pulling their legs into the lesson. Humanistic, not linguistic. So the first 5 minutes, you're trying to win their hearts, you're trying to engage them, you're trying to set the context. You're not doing anything related to language yet. Remember the first 5 minutes, and if you have more, you can do a warm-up activity. But the lead-in is something related to the lesson. I'm answering your question, Iman. The lead-in is something related. I know your question before you ask it.
Okay.
So the lead-in is something related to the lesson itself. So it was a tomato with syringes and some questions about a watermelon that is genetically modified. So all related to the lesson. That's why I called it lead-in. If I have time, if like I have 2 hours, for example, I might start with a question about the weather. Do you enjoy cold weather? I actually love it. What about you? Do you something that is actually irrelevant to the lesson? Have you finished exams? Did you find it easy to come to the center? Do you like anything irrelevant to the lesson? Like I just chit chat with them or an activity. This is what we call a warm-up. But a lead-in is something related to the lesson itself. I started with a lead-in because I wanted to save time. Was that your question, Iman?
No. What
Okay.
should I do if okay? What should I do if I do like what you did to divide the students in the group, and I find some of them don't participate? How can I improve their fluency during this task?
Actually, you will always find resistant students. They might resist you, especially if they are in the class against their will. So if they are young learners, you speak with their parents. If they are old, you speak with them. I even have it in some of my courses. Like even this course, when you go to the breakout rooms, you will not find every teacher participating.
Yes, I know.
They're losing a chance of developing fluency and speaking with other teachers. They're just harming themselves. So that's why I keep encouraging them, turn on your mics. It's a one in a lifetime chance to have a group of teachers who all speak your language, and you can practice your English. You do your best to motivate them. But you can lead horses to water, but you cannot force them drink.
Yes, but can I, if I have a group of, if I divide them to a group, can I make it not student-centered, teachered with the student, to ask them to help them to talk?
How?
For example, by asking them questions, by making them engaging in the conversation.
Like 3 questions, for example, the one I provided. So
Maybe
how is it different? How is it different from what I did?
Maybe because when it comes from the teacher, they find that they are in the position
where
that
did
they
the questions where did the questions in my case come from?
Sorry, again?
Where did the questions in this lesson today come from?
From you.
Yes, from you.
I guess she meant that she asked them personally.
Yes.
So if you keep asking each student, if you have 20 students or 30 students in the class, if you keep asking each student, this interaction, like teacher, one student, One student answered you in 2 minutes, then teacher, another student, the student answered you in 1 or 2 minutes. How long this would take?
Of course, a lot of time.
This is one question. The second question, how many students are talking at the same time? One.
One,
How
yes.
many students are silent?
The rest of them.
The rest.
So promoting autonomy and encouraging students to follow the technique you implement is way more effective than using teacher-centered interaction.
But in the courses, when the students comes, they come because they can't speak. So how can I help them to speak? If they, for example, from my work, they came to the level and they find themselves they don't speak, so they don't come again.
So, Iman, I just want you to pay more attention when I said for the lead-in stage, if you want to apply the 5 features of a good lead-in stage, that goes from pre-intermediate and higher. Lower than pre-intermediate, we will not be able to develop fluency because they don't have the range. So we provide them with a picture and ask them a very simple question in a teacher-centered way. We get the answer, we move on. But this is more applicable with pre-intermediate and higher. Elementary and starter, like when you go lower than pre-intermediate, you will not be able to do that.
Yes.
But the questions will be much simpler than the ones I provided.
Okay.
See, the difference
Yes.
will be in the task itself to suit the level.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I got it.
Again, these features, if we give like each feature 20%, that makes it 100% effective. We will sacrifice student-centeredness and fluency and sometimes personalization if we have lower levels. Higher levels, we try to integrate the 5 features in one lead-in task. For lower levels, if you give them a picture of fruit or tomatoes or potatoes or whatever, what's our lesson is about today? They might say food, they might say vegetables, they might say fruit, and that's it. Do you like this fruit? They might say yes. Some of them might say no, and so on. That's how simple it goes when you have lower levels. So it is not one size fits all. It depends on the student's needs and the student's interests, and finally, the student's level. Good question, Iman. So now, for the second stage, the exposure. I'll take a picture of the exposure, the task, and send it to WhatsApp. Why did I provide the students with a text in this lesson? I want you to think of 3 reasons. How long did I take doing the exposure stage, which was the listening? And did I focus on difficult words? If yes, why? If not, why not? In the chat, in the WhatsApp group, you will find this task. And in the breakout rooms, just help each other. It doesn't have to be like accurate. Doesn't have you don't have to provide the correct answer, but just share some ideas. Let me pause the recording. Hello, welcome back. Lovely discussions in the breakout rooms. Good job. So I'll show you the answer key and you tell me how many points have you come up with the breakout room. Okay. How many points in each breakout room? That's why we provide the students with a text or with an exposure stage. Read them quickly and tell me how many points you came up with in the room, in your room. Maybe you didn't come up with the same wording, but you came up with the same ideas. I heard most of you. I visited the rooms. You came up with many similar ideas. Not the exact wording though, no problem. So the text provides a meaningful context. So in the listening or in the passage, but today I provided you with a spoken text like listening. So the lady was talking about genetically modified food naturally. So that was a meaningful context. She was talking in general and she used the language, which provided a genuine example or a natural example, a real example of the present perfect continuous. I didn't make it up. I didn't provide the sentence in isolation of anything. فاكرين احنا كده واحنا صغيرين في المدرسة؟ كان بيتكتب كده على البورد بالظبط. Present perfect continuous. Subject plus have or has plus been plus verb plus ing. لما تخش الامتحان هتلاقي have or has بعديها been، لازم الفيرب اللي بعديها يبقى ايه؟ ing. طب لو لقيتها ولقيت في النص حاجة فاضية تبقى been. تحط B double E N. It was like a maths equation. It wasn't language. It was just for the exam. Once you see this, you put that, right? So today, I didn't start like this. I just start humanistically asking you about your stand when it comes to food modification. I showed you a tomato and a watermelon, genetically modified. Some of you said this is harmful. Some of you said that's useful for the human beings. Like we eat it a bit more quickly without having to stop to take out seeds and stuff. So that was a genuine example, a natural example. It was a meaningful context, a real one, which helps you understand that we started in the past doing like some food modification, still do it now, and we will keep doing it in the future. And your attention was captured. Why? Oh my God, from the watermelon to grammar, like that was, yes, it was coherent. So the first picture was about the same topic. The text was about the same topic. I got the marker sentence from the text. So it's all coherent, but it captured your attention, moving from a humanistic stage to the exposure, which is the text, the listening task, then to the clarification. They were all connected in like a communicative way. So the communication was never cut. And we elicited, or I elicited the marker sentence from the text. So that supports understanding and captures your attention, and it encouraged you to explore. When I provided you with the questions, like, is it something recent or old? You said it's an old concept, like modifying food. Did it start a long time ago or a short time ago? You said a very long time ago. Do we still do it? You said yes. So you explored it with me. I didn't just stand and clarify or present or lecture you about the language. And there was some skills development, like just listening development. You listened for just and you got the answer, you shared ideas, then we moved on to the clarification. So listening was integrated with grammar. So language and skills integration, or grammar and listening integration. So this integration is useful. So the students didn't feel like the lesson is, I didn't start, okay, today we have a grammar lesson. No. Was the tomato and the watermelon. I think you came late, Samu Latif. That's why you missed this part. It's recorded anyway. Did you attend the lead-in, Samu?
Summer.
Summer. How do I know?
It's okay.
Why is he
It's okay.
Seymour?
No,
Seymour.
it's my first time really. So I can
I
get
mean, did you
the
attend from the beginning? Like the first 5 minutes, the first 10
No,
minutes?
no. I
That's why
attended
maybe
after half an
you missed
hour.
that part. Okay, no
Yeah,
problem. You will see it in the recording, inshallah.
it's okay.
I wonder when people give me the real names and they write their nicknames on Zoom. You change your names, make it easy for me.
Okay, okay.
So, what about the time I spent on the exposure stage? Did I provide you with a complicated listening task, or was it a very simple listening task?
Very simple.
Very
Very
simple,
simple.
and it doesn't
Okay,
take more than 5 minutes.
okay. Did I give you a very long track or a short track that carried the target language naturally?
Short track.
Short track.
Okay. Did I provide you with subtitles in order to catch the words if she's speaking fast? Was there some kind of support?
Yes, there will be
Yes.
subtitles.
Because
Yes,
my
yeah.
main aim, yes, I supported you. You don't have to. You don't have to provide subtitles, to be honest. But I wanted to support you to the maximum in order not to waste time. And I expected that you need to listen again. That's why I didn't provide you with a long track. I provided you with a short track because my main aim was grammar. I wanted to develop to help you understand how the present perfect continuous work and when we use it. And they did that through some questioning, as we're going to clarify in the following slide. So if we go back to the previous slide, it didn't take more than 5-6 minutes. And I made sure that the task is simple. The task doesn't need difficult words. That's why I didn't focus on difficult words. If I need to focus on difficult words, that might take some time. And that might happen. It's not wrong. It is not wrong. It's okay. But I tried to save time for the grammar and the practice. Of course, I didn't do practice because we have a session on practice later on, not today. I wanted to save time for the clarification and the practice. That's why I provided you with a simple listening task. I didn't focus on difficult words. If I give you a difficult task that needs clarification of difficult words, that is time deducted from the clarification and the practice. هيتاخد من وقت الشرح وهيتاخد من وقت البراكتس. فالمين aim بتاعك هيطلع with not with the best quality. That's what I care about today because my main aim was grammar. I want the grammar to come with the best quality ever. That's why I tailored the lesson to serve this aim. Okay. So I think this is the final task or the one before the last. And we can do this in an open class. You can answer in the chat box. Question 1. Where did I get the marker sentence from? In the chat box. So I need a more academic name instead of the video. Not the context. The context is the topic. I got it from the text. There is difference between the text and the context. I started the lesson by setting the context, which is genetically modified food and food, okay, in general. Then I moved on to the exposure stage, which is the text, following the same context. So the whole lesson so far is under the same context, under the same umbrella, which is genetically modified food. But the text is the audio or the passage. The context is the topic of the day. What are we talking about today? Genetically modified food. That's the topic or that's the context. So I got the marker sentence from the text. Is it okay to come up with a new marker sentence in the clarification stage? Or should it be taken or extracted from the text?
Extracted from the text.
Mark my words. If you're going to use a text-based presentation framework, if you're going to use a text to introduce the language, it is a must to come up with the marker sentence from the text. If you don't come up with the marker sentence, yes, thank you very much, Hind. That was the sentence I was about to say. If you don't use the text that you introduced in the exposure stage, the text becomes useless. It becomes a total waste of time, and the lesson will feel isolated from each other. It will be incoherent. You know the coherence? The stages are
Yes.
linked. The lead-in is about genetically modified food. The text is about genetically modified food. The clarification took the marker sentence from the text about genetically modified food. But some teachers start with genetically modified food, then they provide a text about the same topic. Then in the clarification stage, all of a sudden, they say, I have been teaching English for 20 years. Did I start teaching in the past? When did I start teaching? They tell them in 2004 or 2004. Okay. Am I still a teacher? They say yes. Do you think I will keep teaching in the future? Most probably yes. حبيب قلبي ده جت منين الجملة؟ Yes, it's the target language. It's the structure. وبيني وبينك مش هسقطك في الدرس، يعني انا في السلطة ده بيحصل ما بسقطش الدرس، بس بكتب في الweak areas, الweak points. Why did you introduce a text about genetically modified food when your marker sentence is about yourself? طب انت ما كنتش بقى تجيب التكست، ما تضيعش وقت في التكست. The text was like incoherent here. Like why? So if you wanted to do it as a situational presentation, like talking about yourself or talking about the situation, and you get the marker sentence from that, why did you call it text-based presentation? Why did you give them the listening, or why did you give them the reading? As long as you're using text-based presentation, the marker sentence comes from the text. Full stop. Of course, we will have different frameworks in the future, but this is the first one we're tackling, text-based presentation. Number two, what are the three main aspects I clarified today? When it comes to the target language, what did I clarify? That was the first, yes, thank you. Meaning or use. That was the first aspect. So the use, when I asked you the four questions, do you remember them? Is it a new concept? You said no, it's an old one. Did they start a long time ago? You said yes. Or when I said when did they start? You said thousands of years ago. Number three, are they still working on this, or do they still research it? You said yes. So present. Do you think they will continue working on this? You said yes. So future. So it might continue to starting in the past, continues in the present, and maybe in the future. So that was the meaning and use. After that, I modeled the sentence. I said it 2 times or 3 times. Then I drilled it. Drilling means I say it and you repeat after me. After that, when I wrote the sentence, I highlighted the main phonological features related to the structure, not related to each word in the sentence. I highlighted the weak form of have. I highlighted the weak form of been, and I highlighted the sound in the ing verbs. So the main phonological features related to the structure not every single word in the marker sentence, because some teachers want to fix the whole universe in one session. مش تقدر تصلح الكون في درس واحد. ركز على حته صغيره يهضموها، والمره اللي بعديها هتبقى حته جديده. انما انت عايز تصلح ذا، عايز تصلح no, it's not gonna happen. So focus on the main phonological features related to the structure at hand. And finally, after I highlighted that on the screen, I modeled and drilled. Then I highlighted the main phonological features on the screen using the green color. Then I highlighted the form. So meaning or use. Second, pronunciation or the main phonological features. Third, I highlighted the form. MPF. Meaning, pronunciation and form. And pronunciation was not only modeling and drilling. It included some board highlights of the main phonological features. So number three, I'm sorry. Did I lecture the students or was it interactive? هل قعدت اديتهم محاضرة امتى بنستخدم ال present perfect continuous وامتى وازاي بنكونه ولا like it was questions and answers?
Interactive.
Did I wait for you to answer or did I answer it myself? Some teachers do not give the wait time. Just wait for the students to listen and come up with the answer. The wait time or the processing time. So no lecturing on TEFL or CELTA. Number 4. Is it okay to start with the form or with the pronunciation?
No.
Do we have to start with the meaning or is it okay to start with whatever? It is a must to start with the meaning because students do not care how it sounds or how it is made of or from, but but they need to understand what it means or why we need it and how we use it, when we use it. You move on to the form, then the pronunciation, no problem. You move on to the pronunciation, then the form, no problem. I prefer pronunciation, then form. Meaning comes first anyway. Then pronunciation, then form. This is what I prefer. But if you move from meaning to form, no problem. But be careful. When you model and drill, remove the marker sentence. I want their ears only, not their ears and eyes. Only their ears. I need the focus to be on the ears. As long as you're doing modeling and drilling, only the ears. Remove the sentence. Do not drill from the written form. Do not drill from the written form. So that's the quickest task, and I will end the session. I'm sorry I took a bit longer than usual. So think of the 2 most common pitfalls with the text-based presentation framework. When we use the text-based presentation, there are 2 common mistakes. Modeling means saying the sentence. Like when I said, we've been playing with food for thousands of years. I gave you a model. So I said it once or twice or 3 times. Then I asked you to repeat after me. And when I drilled, when I asked you to repeat after me, I back-chained. You can write this term, back-chaining. Back-chaining means saying the sentence backwards. I hear my echo. So I muted you, Manar, because it's coming from your device. So when I said years of years, and you repeated of years, thousands of years, and you repeated after me, it doesn't make any sense. Only your ears are focused with what's being said. Your brain is not working, but your ears are. I'm sorry for putting it this way. I wanted your ears only to get the natural pronunciation. That's the model. I said it twice or 3 times. Then I asked you to repeat after me, orally, the whole class. Then after that, we did some group drilling. Only ladies, only gentlemen, only people in white, only people in black. It doesn't matter. Like you put them in groups somehow, and they drill. Then individually, I asked a couple of people to repeat after me. So chorally, groups, and individually. Front chaining, if we can call it that, and back chaining. So I want you to say it naturally. And after I modeled and drilled, I highlighted the key phonological features. And after I highlighted the key phonological features, I ended the clarification stage with highlighting the form with you. I didn't ask you what part of a speech is this. No, I pointed at the word and said, what's the grammar name? Or what's that in grammar? And you gave me answers like subject, subject pronoun, auxiliary, and so on. Remember? And when you said this is the past participle, I said, is it a fixed word in this structure? You said yes. That's why I wrote it the same, because if I wrote it to students past participle instead of been or been, if I wrote it this way, they might think it's changeable. It is not. It's fixed. Been is part of this structure. That's why I didn't agree when you said past participle. I said, yes, it's the past participle of be. And it's always the same. And they asked you the question, do we change it or is it the same in this structure? You said it's the same. I moved on. Verb plus ing. So the first pitfall is coming with a new marker sentence, not from the text. This is wrong. After spending that time finding a good text and the text has the marker sentence, you just come up with a new marker sentence. Please don't do that. This is a mistake, and it is a common mistake. And number two, the most common pitfall here, the other one is a complicated exposure stage that consumes a lot of time, which eats up from the practice time or the clarification time. Okay. So a complicated exposure stage that needs difficult words, you know, like pre-teaching difficult words. We need to save time for the clarification and practice. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Marker sentence? When we...
Yes.
When we come up with a text that carries the marker sentence for us or carries the target language, please extract the marker sentence from the text. Don't come up with a new one.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. So we will have a break. If you don't have questions, we will have a break for 15 minutes. Okay. And I will remind you on the group when we still have 2 minutes to come back. So we're coming back at 9:05, and I will remind you with a message. See you in 15 minutes. Go refresh. Bye for now.